They try to do a podcast episode number 49. How are you doing, Alexander?
Doing well, Andy. How are you?
Did that surprise you?
What do you mean?
With intro.
Yeah, you did. It happens every week, though.
Yeah, I'm all right, I guess.
It's kind of... God, you're so... Why just all right, Andy?
I don't know. My day was fine.
Okay.
And then you were in a bad mood.
Oh, come on, man.
And then my day's still fine.
Okay, well, listen. Look here, listen. You said 1 o'clock. I was ready at 1 o'clock. I waited for...
texted me, though. You could have been like, hey, man.
An hour and 15 minutes, and then I was
You could have texted me and be like, hey, you late? And I was like, that was my fault, though. I got my time zones mixed up.
It's all good, dude. Like, I don't care. I was being a little bit of a jerk about it. It's just, it's just how I am, man. It's just how I thought you were basically
start streaming. I get on stream and you're like, this dude wasted my time.
Because I felt like you were doing a BB Records to me.
No. Okay, how it happened was I'd play my franchise mode. We're in a double R franchise league and watch Alex's games on his channel. And so he scheduled the game Eastern time. So I scheduled it in my head Eastern time to Central, back to Eastern. For some reason, at like 9 p.m. last night, my brain could not handle that, and I just messed it all up.
It's all good. We're still friends. Like,
and then Saints completely did the same thing I did to you and was an hour late.
He actually didn't show up to my game at all. So I mean, there's that.
Quit the league.
Yeah, then he quit the league, but I hate to see that happen. But I mean, like, it's one of those things. If you record a podcast at all, if you've ever done a podcast, or even if you've done a collaboration with somebody else as a content creator, like you understand these things happen.
Yeah.
Sometimes people are worse than others, like the aforementioned BB Records, who left me hanging for 2.5 hours, and I was like, I kept reaching out to him, and eventually he's like, yeah, man, I just got caught up with stuff with my girlfriend. Are you ready now? And I'm like, nah, I'm good, man. I don't want to, like, my wife's home from work. I don't feel like playing a game of Madden right now. I took this time out. Anyway, it's all good, man. Water under the bridge. So, what have you been watching and playing this week, Andy?
Playing Madden, and I literally play like 2 franchise games, and that's it.
Yeah.
And I played a game of 2K online.
Really?
So nothing much.
Is 2K getting any better? Or,
no, it's just, I don't explain it. It's just like, wow, radio silence. It's like, I don't know. All the players just feel like they're walking in water. I guess, if that makes any sense.
No, it makes sense. It makes sense.
And you can't shoot at all. You literally have to green light every shot to make a shot.
Really?
If you don't green light your shot, it doesn't go in. You can be Steph Curry, which, I mean, he's obviously easy to green light. But if you don't green light it, it doesn't go in. And super annoying.
I can see how that would be frustrating. I don't know much about 2K because I haven't played it in several years, but that does sound a little bit frustrating. What have you been
watching? I watched Who's That Knocking at My Door? The new Rambo movie. Oh man. It's a classic, let me tell you. It's so good.
Definitely sarcasm there, I'm sure.
I gave it a 1 out of 5 on Letterboxd.
Okay. Question for you before we move on. Do you hold the older Rambo movies in high regard?
I haven't seen them in
okay.
I couldn't tell you.
Okay.
I'd have to rewatch them. I watched them before I was like this harsh prick that I am with movies now. If that makes any sense.
Okay.
But Hot Shots Part 2 is a GOAT movie.
Okay.
Then I watched Street Scenes, 1970, Mean Streets, Taxi Driver, and Goodfellas. If you can see a trend, they're all Martin Scorsese movies besides the Rambo one. So yeah, that's everything I watched.
Yeah, well, this week I really haven't been watching many movies at all, unfortunately, because all these fall shows are coming back. So it's a lot of stuff that me and my wife watch.
Yeah, I usually wait till they're over. Like It's Always Sunny's back, stuff like that.
Yeah, I try to watch them once a week because I'll get too far behind on them. So I've been watching a lot of NFL football, obviously, but really just TV shows like Mom. Me and my wife like that one. Shark Tank, love Shark Tank. It's so good.
Colby's
if you're
on there.
Colby's on there, and then obviously Goodfellas. And as far as playing, man, it's just been Madden, a little bit of World of Warcraft, but a lot of Madden. And I also played like a tiny bit of Super Mario Brothers 2 on the Switch. So when you have the Switch Online, you get access to all these NES games, and I've never beaten Super Mario Brothers 2. I know that's weird because I've beaten 1, I've beaten 3, I think I beat Lost Levels at one point, but I never sat down and finished 2.
Yoshi's Island.
Yoshi's Island I beat. I didn't beat it on Super Nintendo. I actually purchased the game on GBA back when the GBA was, a big deal. It was one of the, back then, the GBA, the best games on GBA were generally the SNES games that got ported to it, and Yoshi's Island is one of them.
Hey, Fire Red, don't disrespect.
No, massive respect for Pokemon on that platform.
I think in a earlier podcast from like way back in the day, I said that's my favorite game of all time. So
I had to tell myself this week not to buy a Switch Lite. I really wanted to buy a Switch Lite, but I ended up deciding against it. Still haven't played Link's Awakening. I really need to get on the ball with that. I'm probably gonna bust that one open tomorrow. I installed it on my Switch, but I didn't play it. So
I also did something before getting topics.
Yeah.
I released my top 50 movies on my Letterboxd. So
I didn't even know you could do that.
Well, it's just a list that I did my top 50.
That's kind of crazy.
It's titled My Extremely Normie Top 50.
You're extremely normie?
Yeah.
Top 50?
I haven't watched like all the others. Like I haven't seen like a bunch of like foreign stuff.
Yeah. I mean, I think that's fair.
Pretty, the top 10 is concrete.
Okay.
And then like the top maybe 30 is solid. But then like the rest of it just all in there mumbled up.
Oh, I see this. I see this list now. This is kind of cool.
On my Letterboxd.
Some of these are a little surprising to me, but a lot of them aren't. Like,
I
didn't expect to see Super Bad on here. You know what I'm saying? Like
that's my favorite comedy of all time.
It's a good one. It's a good one. I like that you have Django on here. Django's amazing. I don't even like Tarantino stuff, and people usually roll their eyes at me when I say that I really just don't like Tarantino movies because I don't. I don't like his.
You're a hater.
I don't like his style. Well, he's done some good stuff. I mean, but Death Proof.
That's the only bad one.
Oh, I can't stand that movie. And Kill Bill, I just didn't get it.
Kill Bill 2 is overrated. Kill Bill 1's good.
It. Django, outstanding though.
If you want to check out my top 50 though, letterboxd.com, where you can follow me or Alex.
Yeah.
On there.
I've been trying to keep up with Letterboxd, but lately I just haven't been watching that many movies. Watched a little bit of Midnight Cowboy this week. Boy, that's aged well. Love that movie.
That was a DCD Film Club selection.
DCD Film Club selection and Academy Award
April
winner
14th.
from 1969. So there you go. So
this April.
Moving on to listener questions. Spoon Sandwich on Twitter asks, who killed Epstein? Andy, any theories?
He killed himself.
That's the official response.
Yeah, no. I'm gonna be the I don't know. Bill Clinton.
My wife asked me. It's kind of weird coincidence that Spoon would ask this question, but without getting too political, my wife asked me about Epstein, and I was like, I don't know, man. I don't think he killed himself. I think, they made sure he was taken out because I feel like was a liability.
I feel like he did. He killed himself. I mean, I guess not. I think he potentially could have killed himself because he knew that he was going to get killed anyways or get tortured.
No, you're right. You're right on that. I could see that theory too. But fun thing that my wife got into was she found this guy. He did a ton of research on it. I think he's written a book on it. He's pretty well vetted
Already?
in terms of this. Well, no, not the Epstein thing.
Oh, all right.
But he was talking about the Clintons and like how there's all these people that have been associated with the Clintons over the years. I mean, because they've been around in politics and high profile in politics for decades. And even before that, Hillary Clinton was a high profile attorney. I mean, these people were very affluent for a very long time. And a lot of people that they've been associated with have died under these very mysterious circumstances and suicides that don't quite make sense. So yeah, I don't know, man. I just, the Epstein thing, to me, at the very least, no matter if you believe in the conspiracies or not, I think it should expose to people like there's a lot of really unscrupulous things going on amongst the elite. I mean, that
it fits the film club selection.
It definitely fits the film club selection. If I had to guess, I would say it's a high-profile politician that made sure, like, he either killed himself or he was gonna get killed by somebody else. There's no way he would have
kill yourself, get killed.
I know.
What you gonna do?
It's very odd,
Classic
man.
Vine.
So, I kind of remember that now. I kind of missed the Vine thing, dude. I really did. Like, I'm totally missing out on the TikTok thing. I thought the TikTok thing wouldn't work out. I thought they would go bankrupt just like Vine did. Apparently, they're doing well.
I don't know. Most TikTok is cringe.
Yeah,
but there's a podcast called Your Mom's House.
Oh yeah,
and they do a segment called TikTarded, where they go through all the dumb TikToks, and that's a good segment. I mean, but most of the TikTok, like my enjoyment of TikTok is watching people make fun of the TikToks.
I'm with you on that. It's a
lot of cringe.
I'm with you on that. There's a lot of cringe. I also think that Your Mom's House is the podcast that found the guy on Craigslist.
Yeah.
Try it out, guy.
Yeah.
That's worth looking up right there. Look it up.
Try it out. That's a throwback to episode 1 of this podcast.
Yeah. It is by far one of my favorite internet videos that probably had I
found another video. It's hilarious.
So like the try it out guy, I put him right up there with the guy from Craigslist, who was also on Craigslist, and he was advertising the JO crystal. I know we try to keep it clean here. So I'm not going to tell you guys what the JO crystal is, but please look it up. If you're over 18, it's certainly worth looking up. It's tremendous.
So Alex, aside from horror DCD Film Club theme, do you plan on celebrating Halloween in any other ways in your local area? Question from Daniel, otherwise known as The Reasons I'm Broke. One half of The Reasons I'm Broke.
So my wife's really into Halloween, probably more so than I am. So, I mean, we're not like the really hardcore Halloween people. Like, so like I know some people who are like, I like Halloween. It's better than Christmas and Thanksgiving. And I'm like, I'm a fat guy. So I love Christmas and Thanksgiving for the food alone.
I like Arbor Day. It's a classic holiday.
I'm trying to remember what Arbor Day is. Isn't it about trees or something?
Yeah, you go out and plant a tree.
Yeah.
Every Arbor Day.
Well, there you go. Andy's favorite holiday is Arbor Day. I didn't know that.
It's just a meme.
Oh, okay.
I don't plant a tree. I don't celebrate it anyway. I just say that's my favorite holiday.
Andy's favorite 2 days of the year: Arbor Day, Tater Day. So, yeah.
Then, I mean, Tater Day is a classic. We also got barbecue by the river that's going on right now.
That sounds pretty cool.
It's just a big old barbecue by the river.
See, I like stuff like that. I like stuff like that. So, like Halloween, me and my wife, we generally try to go to a party of some kind. So, generally, there's one party that we can go to that like friends or family are throwing, and it's just a good time where everybody has a couple drinks and eats food, and that's it. Sometimes we go downtown Orlando. That gets pretty cool. Like they always have great drink specials. A lot of people down there in costumes. There was a guy.
You gonna vlog it?
I could do that. I mean, that might work out. There was a guy. Like speaking of cameras, he won a contest. Downtown Orlando, a costume contest. He built his own DSLR camera costume, and it was functional. He had an iPad on the back, and if you pressed a button, it would actually take a picture. It's pretty cool. So
what that's what we do.
Wait, what about Psychopath?
I said, what a psychopath to build that. I mean, it's cool, but
he won the contest. I think he won like $500. So,
hey.
I mean, imagine walking around downtown Orlando dressed up as a DSLR camera and it takes actual photos. Like, women were going nuts over this.
What if he was a Polaroid that worked? So, like, you could take pictures of people and then give them the picture.
I mean, that would be pretty cool, but I don't know how you would make it work.
I guess the DSLR, though, you could take a picture of a girl, all right, and be like, hey, you gotta give me your number for me to send you the pic.
There you go. It's a perfect in.
Yeah.
What do you do for Halloween, Andy? Do you do
Nothing.
anything?
Literally nothing. I thought about getting a costume for the podcast, but I'm poor. And I'm not going to... maybe next year. Maybe next year I'll get a costume.
If I could find a cheap one, I'd probably do it. So, thanks for the question, Daniel. Appreciate it. Thanks to Daniel and Spoon for being Patreon backers as well.
There's other questions, but they were joke questions.
Really?
Yeah, and also, Bobby submitted a question that we answered in the last episode. So if you're looking for that one, Bobby, we answered it last episode.
Yeah, I forgot to get back to Bobby on that question, but that answer is at the very end of episode 48. We did give our MLB playoff predictions. Now I feel like giving predictions wouldn't really work because, you know,
so far I'm 1-0 and you're 0-1. Right now, as of recording this, because the Nationals beat the Brewers.
Of course I would be down. Did video truly kill the radio star? Lazy gaming guys, you guys are trolls. Okay.
Yeah.
So, just kidding. I love them. They're awesome. Got to hang out with Julian, by the way, this past week. That was an adventure. Anyway, moving on to entertainment. This is interesting to me. I never thought this could happen with a console. Borderlands 3 is causing Xbox One X units to overheat and crash. 2K Games has confirmed this, and there's no ETA for a fix. Andy,
yeah,
what do you think about this?
Apparently, it's not the regular Xbox; it's just the X.
Yeah,
that apparently Borderlands is just too much for the most powerful console ever to run.
Maybe when I read the article last night, it seemed to me that it's trying to run the game at 1800p. So it's not native 4K, but apparently it runs at 1800p on the PS4 Pro and the Xbox One X. And then apparently it leads to an overheating. So I guess the consoles, because it's probably locked at a lower frame rate and resolution, they probably don't overheat. But I'm just shocked that a console could overheat. I didn't know that was possible. Because, I mean, like, I know there was the red ring of death. I'm sure
it's just safety killing itself, not
actually
killing itself.
So that's really key, because, like, when I read the headline, I'm like, whoa, I am not buying Borderlands 3. No way. Because, like, this is a $400 console. I'm not putting that at risk. I'll wait till they patch it. But
I mean, there's no broken consoles yet, but
apparently it does go into like a safety mode, which isn't so different than a PC. Again, the lines continue to blur between PC and console. I can't stress that enough. I also think that this is kind of an indication that, so I don't mind that they did a hardware revision and then there was two distinct silos, if you will, in terms of hardware specs. Like with both PlayStation and Xbox, like the PS4 Pro, the PS4 base, and the Xbox One X and the Xbox One X base, totally different from a hardware perspective in terms of what they're capable of, even though it's very small changes to the hardware. This is one of the cautionary tales of doing that. I'm not against it. I just think that this is like a negative to having multiple hardware things. And apparently, like, Microsoft might be toying with the idea of having different specs, like 2 different units at launch for the next one, Xbox, whatever that's going to be called, Scarlet.
Like Ultimate Edition, and then...
Yeah, and I mean, this is kind of what you run into, unfortunately. It kind of fractures the user base, which some people like, some people don't.
But it fractures... It hurts the highest paying customer.
It does. But I mean, that, in a weird way, isn't that how it always is, though? Like, I'm always a champion of early adoption for technology because I think it's worth the risk. But I do understand the counter argument that a lot of people who listen to this show have, because I've had this discussion with them on Twitter and Discord and so on. Like, maybe I don't buy something day one because it generally has the highest return rate, failure rate, etc.
Yeah, I mean, it's, it's Icarus. It's a classic tale.
Wow, you're getting deep, man. I kind of like it. But yeah, like, I don't know. I've always bought Xboxes at launch, and I've really never gotten burnt, but I know plenty of people who have. Anyway.
Speaking of getting burnt, Alex, you got temporarily banned on Twitter for 12 hours for saying the word cracker. Yeah,
dude. Like, I was tweeting at a friend, and obviously I was doing it facetiously. He was saying something about, like, I don't know. Somebody on Twitter was blaming white people for a problem that I don't think is a white people cause. Like, the white people are not the cause of this particular problem. I don't really remember what it was off the top of my head, but that happens a lot on Twitter. It's nice to pile on the white folks, or we're so terrible, we're awful. I mean, so I told my friend to STFU, you cracker, and instantly, I was blown away by this. Instantly, I got an email from Twitter telling me my account was suspended for 12 hours. Like, and I even asked my friend, Colby, by the way, listener to the show, thank you for being a listener. I even asked him, I was like, dude, did you report me? He's like, no. Like, even if I did, like, that was way too fast. So, I guess Twitter has added the word cracker to its, like, list of words that are naughty that you aren't supposed to use, which is kind of funny because a couple weeks ago people were debating whether Antonio Brown calling his boss in Oakland a cracker was offensive or not. So I guess it is by Twitter standards. So shame on you, Antonio Brown, and shame on me. Andy, have you ever been banned on Twitter? Wait, you're on mute, bro. Still off mute.
No, I'm not. Stop lying.
You are now. You're not. You're off it now. But
I've never been banned on Twitter. I currently have 0 tweets, so I can't get banned for anything.
Wait, how do you have 0 tweets?
I deleted all my tweets.
Why?
I quit social media.
What do you mean you quit? When did this happen?
It's been a thing. Sphinx, after a day, was like, hey man, what's going on with Twitter? But you, my close friend, my podcast co-host, doesn't even notice.
Okay,
Shout
well,
out Sphinx.
Jesus. There's a lot of tension on this episode. Just saying. Nah,
I mean,
so, I have mobile notifications on for you.
Yeah.
But I haven't gotten any in a while.
Because I haven't tweeted in forever. And if you check my Twitter, I have 3 tweets that you can only see, I think, through media, and they're just videos I decided not to delete.
I will tell you right now, if you're on my mobile notification list, it's very short. I think it's less than half a dozen people. If you're on my mobile notification list, I really, really like you. Like, we're really good friends, or we're on whatever, dude.
I mean, you're on my notification list, but I'm saying I have like Ian Rappaport and like Ken Rosenthal.
Oh, well, okay, I see what you're saying now. I mean, I don't have anybody like that on there. But it's generally like other content creators, good friends, my wife, people like that.
My wife.
Yeah, like Barack. So yeah, like
it's on the top 50.
And then I will also say, like, some people have been on the mobile notification list and had to be taken off because they were going mental on Twitter sometimes.
Do you have notifications on Discord?
No. Well, to a point. So, like, I used to have them on, but because I'm in so many servers, it gets crazy. And
do you see the messages Colby leaves you?
Yes, because it does notify. It does notify me if I get tagged. So, like, if you're in Discord and you want me to see something, and by the way, I'm not in Discord all day per se. Even like the client that I have on my PC, I have a lot of the notifications kind of muted. But if you tag me, I'll definitely get back to you. But other than that, I had to stop, dude, because Discord, like my Discord server kind of became like this meme dump for a while. And people were just dumping memes in there so much that I actually thought about doing a separate channel for that. And then, yes, there are a few people that provide what I would consider to be superfluous amounts of information. Like, I mean, I think somebody in there at one point was like, yeah, dude, I'm dropping a deuce right now. And I was like, did we really need to know that? And then there was the epic, the genitalia pic that got put in there. That
we're doing this now.
Yeah, where somebody put in a very obviously fake picture of their genitalia, and then somebody says, "Oh, so we're doing this now," and puts in what I believe to be, and most other people believe to be, a genuine picture of their genitalia. Where I was like, I had to remove it. I'm like, we're not doing that in here. Like, no.
I finally found it. I not that.
You were searching for that.
I was trying to see how many Twitter notifications I get a day, and currently today, as of 3:30 p.m., I have 258 Twitter notifications so far today.
That's insane, dude. I don't even know where I would find that, but
you go to screen time on your settings.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I really don't. I don't know, man.
Get all the information. So, Alex, you're wearing a Sony PlayStation shirt.
Yeah.
Sony PlayStation is in the news. They've officially halved their price for PlayStation Now from $20 a month to $9.99, and they're adding God of War, GTA 5, Infamous Second Son, and Uncharted 4, some first party titles, and GTA 5, to their service, trying to compete with Xbox. So, what's your thoughts on this?
I think it's a massive home run for them. I think this is kind of where the future is going, specifically for older titles. So, like, if I had to predict the future and you said, Alex, what's the video game industry going to look like in 5 years? I'd say, okay, you're going to have indie titles, and that will remain strong, because I think developing your own game, I'm not saying it's easy, but it's more accessible now. And then I think you're going to have AAA titles that sell as new releases. But as those new releases age, instead of ending up in a $20 bargain bin in a retail space, I think they're going to end up as part of PlayStation Now and Game Pass and whatever Switch rolls out in the future, because I think they're going to do something like that. It just makes too much sense. Yeah, they kind of have one now, but I think they would expand it a little bit. And I think this is a good alignment for Sony with Microsoft, Xbox, with Game Pass. So the one thing that jumps out to me the most is GTA 5, because I know that game is still very
only
active.
There for 3 months, though.
It's still going to sell
all those games are only there for 3 months.
It's going to sell a lot of PlayStation Now subscriptions in that 3 months. There's so many people still playing that game. And then these other titles that you've listed, God of War, Infamous Second Son, Uncharted 4, I think those all justify the price of $9.99. And if you have a good enough internet connection, I've heard that PlayStation Now, you barely even notice the difference. So
you can't download the game still. It's still streamed.
Yeah, but again, I've heard with a good connection, it's not too bad in terms of the input lag.
I used to play Twisted Metal, the remake, the reboot, I guess.
Yeah.
And it was all right.
Well, there you go.
I didn't notice any lag.
Yeah, I mean, I saw a guy play Rocket League on PlayStation Now, and he was like, you couldn't even tell me it was any different. So maybe the pro players could tell a difference, but I think it's good, man. I think, if I was more of a PlayStation guy, I would totally jump in on that. Andy, any thoughts?
I still don't think it's on par with Xbox, though.
I think Xbox Game Pass is the best subscription service.
Because the Xbox One, you get day one access to first party titles.
Correct.
But to play devil's advocate, Sony has better first party titles, so they don't have to do it. Like
I will reluctantly acquiesce and agree with you.
Like Sony's, that's the reason they're winning the console generation, is their first party titles blow everything out of the water.
you're right. I think so. Two things that I think Xbox missed on this generation. One, creating new IPs. So like they really didn't have much of that. And
no, I mean,
Sea of Thieves is the only one that jumps to mind.
I almost said one that was a PlayStation exclusive. So I was about to be like, oh, you don't like Knack, but then I remember that was Sony.
Yeah. I look at Sony and I go, you know, it's not that old of a series. You know, they came out with Last of Us, right? That's a new IP, got people excited.
Last gen, technically.
Yeah, I know, but I mean, it got people excited, you know, and
yeah.
I just feel like Xbox hasn't done that lately. Sea of Thieves, they really tried. Sea of Thieves actually got a little bit of a resurgence and has done better. So there is that, but I think that was a miss. I like their current strategy of buying studios that can create IPs for them, specifically like Double Fine. That was a good acquisition. You know, but it's a little bit too late for this generation for it to make a difference. I also think one of the biggest misses was we only got one Halo game. You know, and on the original Xbox, we got Halo 1 and 2. And I know some people will say Master Chief Collection. That doesn't count to me. Xbox 360, we got Halo 3. We got Halo 4. We got Halo Reach. And then you go to Xbox One, we got Halo 5. And that's it. We got Halo Wars.
Games, though.
Well, that's fine.
Halo Master Chief Collection. I mean, technically.
No, that's just a reboot. I mean, I really think Halo 6 should have come out this generation. And I would have, if I was Microsoft, I really would have pushed 343 to try and get something out the door.
It's a weird generation, though. That there's not going to be a single GTA game this generation.
Yeah, that's weird, too.
Like, there's a bunch of... It's just a weird gen.
It is definitely a weird gen. I feel like the library on Xbox One and PS4, like across the board, I feel like there have been less titles, less selection, certainly compared to 360 PS3.
Same time, but like, I get everything comes out is, I don't know. I want to say this. Like whenever a GTA comes out, it's gonna be like the biggest game ever. It's gonna be awesome.
No, you're right. You're right. I mean, it's more companies taking a very Blizzard-like approach to game dev, which is it's ready when it's ready, you know, and that's kind of it. But overall, I mean, to get back to the original point, I feel like, you know, Xbox Game Pass is the best value, period, on the market. PlayStation Now is close, but I mean, you go on Game Pass and you see what you have access to play. And also, once they get Halo MCC, Master Chief Collection, on PC, I think a lot of PC players are going to buy Game Pass strictly for that. Because that looks really, like, it looks really good. Like, I saw somebody playing Halo Reach. I think they put it in a beta on PC. Looks amazing. I'm saying a lot because it's already a pretty game. So good move by Sony. What?
Best Halo.
Halo Reach?
Yeah.
I don't know, man. It's hard for me to pick one. Reach is definitely up there.
It's my favorite. It's the best multiplayer. I don't really care about single player. We discussed this several podcasts.
I mean, Halo 1 will always have a special place in my heart because it was an Xbox One or Xbox original launch title, and I just fell in love with the series instantly because of it. And to this day, you can go back and play Halo, and it still looks good and plays well, and it's still a fun experience. Halo 2 to me was probably my favorite. I probably put the most game time into that one. Halo 3 would definitely be up there. Reach, I really liked. I know I'm in the minority on this. I loved Halo 4 too. I love the story in 4. I like the multiplayer in 4. The one thing I really enjoyed about 4 was the multiplayer felt very big. The maps felt very big. And with 5, I like 5, but I feel like the maps are smaller. And like the devs even said they were kind of going for that. But I kind of like the openness of 4. Like even when I play 5, my most the most fun I have is when I play Big Team Battle, where it's like the really big maps. So I don't know. Anyway, moving on. DCD Film Club Patreon pick this week comes from Spoon.
Jarrod.
Yeah, Spoon Sandwich, aka Jarrod. He picked Goodfellas from 1990.
Yeah.
So, Andy, how'd you feel about Goodfellas?
Well, Goodfellas directed by Martin Scorsese, starring Robert De Niro, Joe Pesci, and the B-movie legend Ray Liotta.
Mm-hmm. Currently doing nicotine commercials right now. Nicotine patch commercials, I think.
And then Pesci and De Niro is going to be his new movie, The Irishman. But it's a story about Henry Hill. It's an IRL person, and it's a story about his life and the mob. It's funny that this one's coming up right after the last one.
Yeah.
Where I was like, oh, narration's lazy. And this whole movie is narration, basically.
Yeah.
But, I don't know. I like this one a lot more than the last one. I don't think it was a masterpiece or anything. I think it's the best, like, gangsta movie I've ever seen.
Okay.
And, I don't know. Nothing, I don't know. Cinematography, none of that really stood out to me. Like, I don't know. There's some scenes where it's like, that's a good shot. But the rest of the movie is like, it's okay.
So I would disagree with the cinematography point. And the reason I would say that is there's so many shots in this movie that are iconic and have been spoofed so many times, and spoofed to the point where when people see someone do a similar shot, they instantly know it's a Goodfellas spoof, you know, like, and I mean that in a good way. You know, if your movie, like, for example, what's that movie called? It's John Travolta. It's a Quentin Tarantino film.
Pulp Fiction.
Pulp Fiction. To this day, they still do Pulp Fiction spoofs in comedies, and like any pop culture makes a lot of references to it, right? Same thing with Goodfellas. And when people are doing that decades after something's come out, like, you did something right. So, like, I did like the cinematography here. I did learn a lot about this movie. I've seen it like a ton of times. Like, anytime it's on TV, I usually watch it just because I love the movie. I think it's a good one. I did this time around when watching it, I did like some research on it because of what Andy said last week. Yeah. I did not know that this was based on a real life story. I did not know that this was based off of a book that's considered to be a nonfiction book. Basically kind of like a biography of sorts. And I also go ahead.
It's like Martin Scorsese's other movie, Wolf of Wall Street. It's real. People don't think it's real, but it actually happened. That's
another one where I didn't think it was real, and then I found out it was. Like, so that kind of changed the way I looked at this. Like, I mean, I loved it, man. Like, I loved this movie, but I thought it was kind of cool to watch it again and know that it was real. It was based off of something that really happened. Another thing that I learned in doing some research on this was there are many scenes that were kind of improvised or ad-libbed, specifically some Joe Pesci scenes. I did not know that. So watching it again, I was like, wow, it just kind of makes Joe Pesci's performance.
He won an Oscar for it.
It's a brilliant performance. It's one of his best. And I say that loving a lot of his other work, you know, My Cousin Vinny and you name it. And I love anything with Joe Pesci. I think Ray Liotta, it's probably the highlight of his career. De Niro's
B movie. Come on.
De Niro's great in this as well. I don't think they could have gotten a better cast. I think that this is like, so for me, I think it's Scorsese's best work, period. It's kind of a shame that, you know, it's the best thing he'll probably ever make, but in a weird way, it's like this great accomplishment too. Because I think the writing was terrific. The allowing the cast to take some creative liberties throughout with some ad-libbing and improvisation was another really good choice that some directors wouldn't allow. The casting, whoever cast this movie, brilliant job. Everybody is perfectly cast, and cinematography is good. Tells a cool story. I'm one of the few people who would say I think it's the best mafia movie ever. I know most people would say Godfather. I like GoodFellas. I'm a GoodFellas guy. I like it better. Even though Godfather's great. Nothing against it. Just
Did you watch 30 for 30?
No, I didn't watch that. Didn't have time. I'll have to check it out later. But overall great, man. Yeah. I was shocked also to learn that this didn't do terribly well at the box office. That blew my mind. Only made about 20 million.
I mean, if you do, it lost 5 technically.
Yeah.
If you do multiply the budget by 2 to get the marketing budget, which isn't like spot on ever, but you know.
Yeah.
Rough estimates. But I'm sure it's made its money back through royalties. It is currently number 18 on top IMDb movies all time.
You know, 1990, I was 5, so I really don't know. But like, I kind of want to know what was happening in 1990 where people didn't go see this movie. Was it poorly reviewed, or because you know, back when I was a kid, you know, there was no Rotten Tomatoes, even though I think Rotten Tomatoes is worthless. Because I will also say this about the method back then. There was Siskel and Ebert. They had a Saturday show. I believe it was played on CBS or maybe PBS, one of the two. And they would review movies, and people would either go see the movie or not see the movie based on Siskel and Ebert's rating. And I know every local newspaper had a movie critic that would write reviews for movies. Ebert gave it a 4 out of 4. Well, then I don't know. There goes my theory. Like, why did
there wasn't really that much other 1990 movies? Pretty Woman, Home Alone, Dances with Wolves, Total Recall. Edward Scissorhands.
Edward Scissorfingers? That kind of sounds like a porno knockoff of Edward Scissorhands.
Imagine that.
Oh, the IRL Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
Yeah. I saw that in theaters. I remember seeing that in theaters.
Oh, Kindergarten Cop.
Loving it. Kindergarten Cop. I think I saw that when it hit home release. I don't think I saw that in theaters. I mean, obviously at 5, I wasn't going to see GoodFellas, but I know my mom didn't go see it. Kind of wonder why. She used to go see movies.
Oh, the classic Captain America movie from the 90s.
I didn't even know there was one.
It's... it has a 3.2 in IMDb. Well, that says anything.
I don't know, man. It's just kind of a mystery to me. I'd love to go back and see why people maybe didn't check this one out. I'd have to do more research on it. Overall, I think it's a classic. I think it's timeless. It won a plethora of awards. It's in the
it won an award at the Oscars.
I mean, and then it's, you know, it's in the National Film Registry with the Library of Congress. So I mean, it's obviously a very well regarded work now. So I appreciate Jarrod suggesting it because it was a fun watch. Andy, out of 10, what do you rank GoodFellas?
An 8.
I have it as an 8 as well. I think it's real strong. I think it's the best mafia gangster movie I've ever seen. And I don't think anything will ever top it. I think part of what makes it so good is when I thought it was a piece of fiction, I thought it felt real. And I think that's just kind of why it works so well, I don't have to suspend my disbelief at all. Like it's very realistic. Like everything that happens, you could see it actually happening. So
yeah,
really good
stuff. It lost to Dances with Wolves for Best Picture. Let's try to find that.
I remember everybody going nuts over Dances with Wolves.
I mean, Kevin Costner's hot.
He was red hot at the time. Back then.
No, I mean like literally, he's hot. Like,
well, that's what I'm saying.
Good-looking guy.
Oh yeah, he was a good-looking guy. He still is, and the females were going nuts over Kevin Costner back then. Kevin Costner could do no wrong at that point in his career.
When did Waterworld come out?
People saw it though.
I own the Blu-ray, technically.
That's insane that you own the Blu-ray for Waterworld.
It was in the $5 bin, and I was like, there you go.
I mean, for $5, it's worth having. But, see, Waterworld, like, the thing that stunk was the budget was so high. I felt like they were just kind of behind the eight ball.
I don't actually know if I own the Blu-ray or not. I think I do.
I don't know. Anyway, great suggestion from Jarrod.
I don't know. I'm not going to get up and look.
Moving on. It is now October, so we're doing the
This should have been a horror movie that we're reviewing in October.
We're
in retrospect.
We're doing the horror theme for the rest of the month. Andy on the show notes has told me that he has selected the spookiest movie of them all, Hotel for Dogs from 2009.
Hotel for Dogs from 2009.
Yeah.
Man, this movie's so scary. I can't even sleep at night thinking of Hotels for Dogs.
You know, I was working at a GameStop in the mall when Hotel for Dogs came out. They released a video game on the Nintendo systems that came out with it, and it sold like hotcakes. But I'll never forget this one lady coming in, and she's like, I was just so disappointed with Hotel for Dogs because I watched the trailer, and they have the dogs, and they're sitting in the beach chair, and they have the little cucumber slices on their eyes, and they're pampering the dogs, and that really wasn't what the movie was about. I was expecting more of that, more of the dogs just relaxing at a hotel.
Hey, dog movies sell, bro.
It sold, but I was just like, this lady thought they were going to make an entire hour-and-a-half movie of dogs hanging out at a hotel and beach chairs.
A Dog's Purpose, stuff like that. Those movies, they stuck them out.
There's like the one where the dog keeps getting reincarnated or something.
Yeah, I think it was that one, or it's the other one that came out this year, that they spoiled the ending of the movie in the trailer. Like, blatantly spoiled it.
I know what you're talking. I know the one you're talking about. I didn't see it, but I do know the trailer.
I mean, obviously, who's gonna watch that?
Dude, I saw people in the theater when
you watched
I think it was Detective Pikachu, and the trailer for that dog movie that you're talking about. That was like I look around and people were like,
A Dog's Way Home. That's the movie.
They were like almost crying, and I'm like, what is this? What is this?
I think Marley and Me just made it like every dog movie. Everyone's just like,
oh, Marley and Me? Oh, man.
And there's Alpha. That's a movie about the first domesticated wolf, the first dog.
Dude, you know what I really loved in the 90s? Air Bud movies.
Air Bud's a classic.
Yeah, dude. Because like they did the one with basketball, and I'm like, this is so stupid. It was on TV. And there's nothing else on it. I was a kid, and I watched it with my little brother. And we ended up just kind of laughing at how ridiculous it was. But then, like, a couple years later, I turn on the TV, and they have Air Bud. Like, he was in football. There's a bunch of them. He was playing football then. And then apparently, like, they have the same people made this thing called, like, Air Buddies.
There's 11 of them.
And eventually
there's
the
Air
puppy
Buddies, Snow Buddies, Space Buddies,
Space
Santa
Buddies, Space
Spooky Buddies, Treasure Buddies.
I heard about Space Buddies, and I'm like, I cannot believe it has gone this far. But it's like Big Mama's house, man. They've made 3 Big Mama's houses, and they're gonna keep making them because they keep making money. Beethoven, yeah.
There's a movie podcast I listen to that there's a long segment where they're going through the Air Bud cinematic universe.
The ABCU.
Yeah.
I love it. I love it.
All right, so my pick for next week, the first horror movie of our 4-week horror movie thing. Funny enough, this is the first time I think ever that someone besides me knows what I'm picking. Because I guess I'm going to come out with it. Next week's episode, hopefully, if it happens, Daniel, or The Reasons I'm Broke, will be coming on the podcast. And I let him know early. I was like, hey, if you want to participate in Film Club, here's the movie we're watching. He's known for like a week now. So my pick is my favorite horror movie of all time, Hereditary.
Oh, good. I own a digital copy of that. So thanks, Andy.
I tried to get my digital copy. A digital copy to Daniel. I was like, here you go, you can have it. But I didn't know I sent it to you.
Yep. I remember
but it's
you
on
telling
Amazon
me
Prime.
You have to try it.
Amazon Prime. Amazon Prime, or you can get an Amazon regular for $2.99, Vudu for $2.99, YouTube and Google Play for $3.99, and yeah, and Sphinxy's already seen it. He didn't like it, so.
Wow, that's surprising. Usually,
well, we give it like a 7 out of 10, and that's just disrespectful to me because I think it's a masterpiece.
7 out of 10. It's not that bad.
Have you seen it?
No.
Yeah, I don't think Daniel has either, so.
No.
Be interesting. See how you guys think.
I redeemed the code and thought I lost access to the account that I redeemed it on, and somehow dug it out, and I'm like, oh, hey, it's Logan and Hereditary in there. And now I have this massive collection of digital stuff, so I'm looking forward to it, though. I mean, you really hyped it up pretty well. Sphinx gave it a 7 out of 10. He's usually pretty tough on stuff. I'm kind of interested to see what Daniel thinks of it, though. He's pretty tough, too.
There was one movie that Sphinx just hated on. I don't think it was Stranger Than Fiction, but there was one DCD Film Club that he gave it was Scott Pilgrim. He gave it like a 2.
Really?
He gave it like a 1.5 stars out of 5.
Ouch. Dang, man. I didn't think it was that bad. You know,
he was just like he said in the comments, he's like, this movie just isn't for me. I just didn't like it.
You know, that's fair. I mean, like, not everybody's gonna enjoy it, you know, and the other thing too is I think in regard to Scott Pilgrim specifically, like, you kind of only get it if you're that age that remembers old school video games, because there's so many references to it. So maybe if you weren't,
you give it a 1 out of 5.
I don't know if I'd be that harsh on it, though. Even without getting the video game references, it's still a good movie, though. Anyway, moving on to sports. So, week 5 of the NFL season.
Last week.
Okay.
Last week, you took the lead back. I guess the lead for the first time. You're leading in our little thing. You went 9-6. I went 7-8. I had an awful week. You are currently leading by 1 at 40-22-1. I'm at 39-23-1, bringing our all-time records to you are at 125-69, nice, and 3, and then I'm at 128-66-3. Our consistent picks for the year are 30-11, and then split you're ahead at 12-11-1.
Well, we'll look to keep that going. It's a pretty crazy week 4, man. Lots of surprises.
Hey. 49ers are the only undefeated team in the NFC, number 1 seed right now.
Kind of blows my mind, but can't say that
can't lose in the bye week though.
Yeah, I didn't think they were. I didn't think they were that bad coming into the year, but I don't know that I saw them going undefeated at this point.
And then to help out the 49ers, the first match this week, Thursday Night Football, the 3-1 Rams against the 3-1 Seattle Seahawks. And I'm going with the home team, the Seattle Seahawks, because I feel like the Rams are going to be pretty banged up after that long, just offensive, juggernaut game against Tampa Bay.
So, this is a tough one for me, man. I'm actually going to go Rams here. Rams didn't look bad against Tampa. It's just Tampa made plays.
I'm just picking against them because I feel like they'll be tired.
I bet they are.
And Seattle's playing at home.
Yeah, I'm gonna go Rams though.
All right, next we have the Atlanta Falcons at the Houston Texans, and I'm gonna go with Houston Texans. Atlanta's just been a giant disappointment this year for me. I mean, Houston also, they're both disappointing teams, but gonna go with Houston.
I feel like Houston could still rebound. The AFC South to me feels pretty open. So while they have been disappointing, the Falcons, I have no idea what's going on with the Falcons. Can't say that enough. So I'm going Houston here.
Then we have the Buffalo Bills at Tennessee, and is there any word that Josh Allen's going to play?
Last I saw, it didn't look like he was going to be able to play. He's in concussion protocol still as of today.
Yeah. But, I don't know. If he plays or not, I'm still going to go with Tennessee, which is, I think, the upset pick.
No, the Tennessee is the favorite here by 3 points. So I'm actually going Bills. I really liked what I saw from the Bills on Sunday. They came very close against the Patriots. Much closer than most people had them.
I've only picked home teams so far. Maybe that'll change for the next one.
Mm-hmm.
Chicago Bears at Oakland. And I'm going no, I'm kidding. Gonna go with the Chicago Bears. Their defense has regressed from last year.
Yeah.
But they're according to DVOA, they're the third best defense in the league. They're a great defense. And they just completely clamped the Vikings. And I think they'll continue against the Oakland Raiders.
So traditionally, defense plays well in London. I don't know why that is, but I just seem to remember that as a trend where defense does well in London games. So I'm going to go Bears here.
We have the Arizona Cardinals at the Cincinnati Bengals. The battle of the unvictorious teams. And I think the Cincinnati Bengals will win this, even though they just got blown out by Mason Rudolph.
I'm going to take the Cardinals.
All right. Then we have the Minnesota Vikings at the New York Giants. Gonna go the Vikings to rebound after that embarrassing loss.
They need to rebound, and kudos to Kirk Cousins taking the criticism in stride from Adam Thielen.
Yeah. And then we have the New England Patriots.
Let's go back to that. Why'd you laugh? I want to know your thoughts.
Because Adam Thielen just roasted the team.
Here's the thing, though.
Publicly.
Andy, hear me out on this. Do you think, because I don't think it was done unprofessionally, would you, if you're a GM, a coach, or even a fellow player, does it bother you if it's true? Because to me, it wouldn't. It wouldn't bother me.
So
it's justified. So I'm kind of okay with it. T.O. used to do it all the time, and sometimes it puts you right.
More. Even though they just got the loss to the division rival, I think it puts you more in the hot seat if a player calls out the entire team or calls out, I guess, the offense publicly.
No, you're right. You're right. I mean, I'm totally with you. I think the Vikings really need this one. This would be their first road win of the year, by the way. So, but I'm going Vikings.
And then we have undefeated New England Patriots against the unvictorious Washington Redskins, which Dwayne Haskins played some. Which he didn't look anything special. And it's the Patriots. You got to go with the Patriots.
So if they're playing Haskins, it's going to get ugly fast. Belichick has always preyed on young QBs. It would be ugly. I think they're going to probably play Keenum, if I'm not mistaken. But I just saw that New England's a 15.5 point favorite, and I can't agree more. Even on the road, it's got to be the Patriots here.
All right, and we have the AFC South, Tampa Bay Buccaneers at the New Orleans Saints. Saints just got a big win against the Cowboys. But I'm going to go with the Buccaneers.
I'm going Bucks here, man. I think they need this win, and I think that they could throw some interesting looks at Bridgewater just like they did Jared Goff last week.
The Bucks are the number one ranked rush defense in the league.
Thanks to Shaq Barrett.
I mean, don't discredit Todd Bowles. He's a genius.
No, I mean, I was talking about it on my stream right before we recorded this. The defense, okay, they added Shaq Barrett. They added Ndamukong Suh.
For $4 million, Shaq Barrett is playing out of his mind.
Yeah, I mean, you're absolutely right there. And having thus far one of the best all-time... if he continues at this pace, it's one of the best all-time seasons for an individual defensive player ever. We'll see if he can continue. But...
For pound for money, I guess. I don't know how to say this, pound for pound, but for money wise, definitely the best season ever defensively.
Definitely correct there. I totally agree with you 100%. But I mean, for a defensive unit that basically swapped McCoy with Sue, because I think they're interchangeable players. I don't really think one is better than the other at this point in their career. And then you add Shaq Barrett, a couple other pieces. Hargraves has looked better. Whitehead's looked better. Evans has looked better in secondary, and I think it's mostly, like you said, because of Todd Bowles' scheme that maximizes those players and puts them in positions to make plays. I can't wait to see what they do when they get Devin White. It's going to be great. Anyway, I'm taking the Bucks.
My dog. Then we have the New York Jets at Philadelphia. It's another New England game. Going to go with Philly.
Yeah, I'm going Philly, but I just... I just don't know. Am I the only one who feels like the Eagles are really inconsistent this year? Like, I feel like they're remarkably inconsistent. Fair enough. I mean, I'm taking Eagles, but if the Jets win, I'm not going to be shocked.
We had the Baltimore Ravens at Pittsburgh Steelers. My dog is just barking as mine. I'm going to quickly pick the Ravens.
Yeah, Steelers looked really good last week, and it was against the Bengals, but I'm not off that Ravens bandwagon yet, and I think that, this win would mean a lot for them. So I think the Ravens pick up the win on the road.
Jacksonville at Carolina. Kyle Allen stays undefeated 3-0. Going with the Panthers.
Yeah, man, in a matchup of 1995 expansion teams, I'm going to take the Jags here.
Denver Broncos at Los Angeles Chargers. Going to go with the Chargers.
Another tough one, man. The Chargers have been kind of inconsistent, but I really don't like the Broncos at all. Chargers are playing at home, so I'm taking them.
We have probably game of the week, the Green Bay Packers at the Dallas Cowboys. And I'm going to go with the Green Bay Packers.
I'm going with them boys, the Cowboys.
Dak P, MVP.
He keeps playing the way he has, aside from week 4. He plays like he did weeks 1 through 3. He's going to be an MVP candidate.
Then we have Indianapolis Colts at Kansas City. Kansas City stays undefeated.
Yeah, I'm taking Casey on this one.
And then Monday Night Football, the Cleveland Browns at my San Francisco 49ers, coming off a bye, at home, undefeated. I'm going with 49ers, obviously.
East Coast team, traveling west, usually doesn't fare well. Going Niners.
Stay undefeated. We're going 16-0. And then losing in the Super Bowl.
I mean, I just don't... if the 49ers can use this momentum going into their division play, they're going to be pretty scary.
We have the Browns, and after that, we have the Rams. If we get those wins, we're easily... Then after that, we have the Redskins, the Panthers, the Cardinals. This could turn into a huge win streak.
I almost said Ravens. Rams have looked really shaky. It's weird. They looked like a finely tuned machine last year, and they were like a meat grinder, man. They were just...
Jared Goff is thrown for 6 touchdowns and 6 interceptions.
I just don't know what's happened. He looks different, and my wife even pinpointed it last week because she had Jared Goff on her fantasy football team last year, so she watched a lot of Rams games. And she says, "What's going on with Goff? He doesn't look the same." And I said, "I don't know. He's just making some really weird reads. He almost looks panicked at times in the pocket. It's very
paycheck and now
Goff." Maybe, I don't know. It just could be a bad stretch. It could be a bad stretch of 4 games.
Yeah.
I think the Bucs last week threw some looks at him that I don't think he was expecting.
Yeah.
And it didn't turn out well, but
so Alex.
Yeah.
Hot question that is in the notes. Hockey's back, baby. Who you got winning the Stanley Cup? Just for you, Sports Network, if you're watching.
Woo, yeah. I'm gonna say, if I had to pick, I would say Tampa Bay Lightning.
Yeah, I'm going with Vegas.
Vegas is another good pick too.
Obviously, I want my Bruins to win, but I can't pick It's not fun picking your own team.
Yeah, I'm a Panthers fan. I have very low expectations, but sometimes the Panthers will surprise you and make the playoffs. So, who knows? The NHL is hard to predict.
I think it was 2 seasons or 3 seasons ago. They were really good.
Yeah, a couple seasons ago, I know I was watching them in the playoffs, and they came a couple games away from going to a Stanley Cup final. So they're, it's the NHL. It's what I like about the NHL is there's parity. Every year the playoffs are exciting. I think it's probably, I agree with Andy. It's probably the best playoffs in terms of entertainment value in sports.
Yeah.
So, looking forward to it.
Also, another question, trivia question, just to waste time. Well, there's how many teams will have the same starting lineup same starting lineup day one this year in the NBA as they did last year? Like same exact point guard, shooting guard, small forward, power forward, center.
I'm going to say 3.
You're exactly correct.
Wow.
And I don't know the teams, to be honest. I know the Magic is one of them, though.
Yeah, I was going to say the Magic are definitely
I think it's Magic,
one.
Spurs, and someone else.
Yeah, because the Magic didn't really make any changes that would have impacted their starting lineup. A lot of movement in the NBA, man. You know, and I think it's a good thing. The only reason I say that is because when there's a lot of movement, sometimes it does lead to new teams being good again, a little bit more competitive balance. It certainly leads to more entertainment, and it could lead to a really interesting trade deadline too in the NBA. So, I'm looking forward to new NBA season. I want to see what this new look Warriors plays like.
You gonna watch the preseason starting now?
I usually don't watch too much preseason basketball. I'll watch a little bit, but not much.
I watch some summer league.
Summer league's fun. I
love watching Taco Fall for the Celtics ball out and Grant Williams ball out.
I'm not saying this just because I'm a UCF guy, but I feel like Taco Fall has something to offer the NBA. He could be a good big off the bench.
He'll get like a good 8 to 12 minutes a game.
Yeah.
Come and be a defensive force.
Exactly. Like, I mean, he can contribute something. You know, you don't always have to be like a superstar. I mean, there's guys who've made entire careers off of being a 3-point specialist. You know, yeah. I mean, everybody.
He's the 26th tallest person in the world.
He's got something to offer. He really progressed a lot in his time at UCF, and I could see with the right coaching, with the right training staff, he could certainly be somebody who could add some value off the bench. Maybe more, who knows. Anyway, that's going to do it for episode 49 of DCD. As always, want to remind you guys about a couple things. T-shirt link in the description. You buy one of those, we get $6. It helps us fund the podcast. Speaking of funding, Patreon. You can check it out at patreon.com/DCD podcast. And you can support us on there for as little as $1. You get early access to the show. Lately, we've been getting the show up on Thursdays for our Patreon backers. So looking to continue that. And you also get to, vote on DCD Film Club and all kinds of other perks.
Pick a film club movie.
Yeah, you get to suggest one.
Everyone gets to vote.
Yeah, well, okay, there you go. Thank you. Oops, I made a mistake. Andy corrected me. So, yeah, overall, it's pretty cool. All the perks are listed on there. You can start it for as little as $1 a month. Want to thank Daniel and Bobby for being on the Andy tier, and then Jarrod for being on the gold tier. Jarrod needs to get back to us as far as what game he wants to play with us, because that's 2 months now. We owe him 2 at this point. And then finally, if you can't support us monetarily, that's cool. I totally know what that's like. You can always leave us a review on iTunes. Helps other people find the show. And I will give you a shout out if you leave us a review on iTunes. And that's pretty much it. Oh, deadchannelduo.com. You can find out every location that we're on. YouTube, podcatcher, services, etc. Andy, anything else you want to talk about?
See you later, Mookie Betts. He's leaving. GG.
Really?
I mean, it's not confirmed, but he probably is.
Sad. Well, see you later, Mookie Betts. And we'll see you next week for DCD 50. We're halfway to 100 with Daniel of the Reasons
Leave us
I'm Broke.
Questions to ask Daniel.
Yeah, because we're going to be, I guess we'll do pretty much like a regular show. But
yeah, I feel like he'll fit in the regular show.
He'll definitely fit right in. And then we're gonna do a non-spoiler review of Joker.
Yeah, that's why he's on.
Yeah,
we're
so
talking Joker.
So yeah, we're looking forward to that. But be on the lookout for that. DCD 50 coming next Sunday. We'll see you then. Thanks for listening.
Episode 49, 49ers undefeated. Let's go.